everybody. Welcome to this week's Travel Talk with the Women's Travel Club. My name is Ali. I am the Director of Marketing with the Women's Travel Club. Just for you guys who may be joining us from social platforms like Facebook or YouTube who may not know who we are as an organization. So here at the Women's Travel Club, our main purpose is to cultivate interactive and unique tours planned by and for women travelers. We cater to both the solo and the group traveler, and we offer both single occupancy rates and double occupancy rates. So if you're coming on alone, we give you the opportunity to get matched up with a roommate. Apologies for my dog in the background. He likes to bark at cars that drive by my house. But anyways, so if you're coming on alone, we do give you the opportunity to be matched up with a roommate for a cheaper rate, which I think is super great because it helps cultivate relationships among travelers that last a lifetime. And our guest today, Kirsten, will tell you lots about that. So our tours vary in many different types. They go from safaris to cruises, and there's a variety of different activity levels as well. So if you're not as big into hiking, you know, every tour doesn't have to have lots and lots of physical activity, but we do cater to that as well. So something that I think is important to note, especially going forward in today's travel talk, is that we do offer 3 different levels of tours. Starting at Essential, and then it goes to Classic, and finally our Signature tours. The higher the level, the more bells and whistles your tour includes. One of those bells and whistles are tour hosts, and Women Travel Club tour hosts are only included on both our Classic and Signature tours. So after this talk, if you find you like the idea of having a designated travel host, be sure to book under those 2 categories. Because our Essential tours will not have that. So just to give you a quick little introduction here, I'm going to post our PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to bring Kirsten onto the stage. Hello, Kirsten. Welcome to today's Travel Talk.
Thank you, Ali. This is good. I love talking.
Yeah, me and Kirsten are no strangers to the gift of the gab, so we are very excited to sit down and talk to you guys today. So just a little bit about myself before I pass the floor over to Kirsten. So again, I'm Ali, and I'm the Director of Marketing with the Women's Travel Club. You can find me on all of our social media platforms. If you ever want to shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram, you know, talk about any upcoming tours you are having questions about, or even just to talk. I'd love to chat. I've been traveling my entire life. More recently, I lived in Europe for the past 18 months, gallivanting about. So that inspired this career path that I've taken. And as well, I've now come aboard as a new travel host with the Women's Travel Club. So I have yet to venture onto my first tour as a host. So I'll give you a little bit of how I feel about that. But of course, we've got Kirsten here as well, who is very experienced in tour hosting. So she'll be happy to tell you all of the tales that she's gone through in the past however long. So yeah, Kirsten, if you wanted to give us a little introduction here, I can take this away here. So we can
for sure.
Give us a little bit of an introduction to yourself.
Sure. How do you sum it up?
Yeah.
No, we could do this. We got this. So I'm Kirsten Ness. My day job is, or the one that actually pays my bills, is as a veterinarian. I have a small animal hospital in St. Catharines, Ontario. So that's my kind of line of work. But I've known Marianne for many, many years, since I think I met her in 1993. So whatever that makes it now, a long time. And we had kids around the same time. We were pre-kids around the same time. We, you know, had fun then too. And when she opened her travel agency and then began to actually create the Women's Travel Club as a branch of that, traveling with women, I went with her on a number of things that would help her out, you know, with her paper, not as much the paperwork, but the nitty gritty, handing stuff out. So-and-so has a problem with this or whatever. Can I go to the front desk? So it just kind of evolved naturally. And when she started to need somebody, where we couldn't travel anymore, there's too many tourists. And so I started to just do them on my own, which has been great fun. It's been just a blessing, really, in so many ways, which I'll touch on some of them. And the trouble is I don't get to travel with Marianne anymore, which kind of sucks.
Yeah,
But
Marianne's always bopping around somewhere. She's actually on our Abu Dhabi and Dubai trip right now as a travel host, and then she goes to our India safari, and then Nepal and Bhutan. So
I'm a bit jealous of I'm a bit jealous of the Nepal and Bhutan. I had my eye on that, but she, her company kind of dibs.
Yeah, you kind of dibs. I know.
Dibs.
Always snatching the good ones, Marianne. No, but they're all good ones.
Oh yeah, there's so many tours.
Exactly. When we
so
just
many
had
different
our
tours.
Tour host meeting, I was like looking at all of the potential.
It's incredible. When I think about how far she's come from, I don't even remember. At first, she was just doing it casually and matching up friends because she was doing travel agency stuff and she knew women that wanted to travel and she knew women that wanted to travel to the same place. So she just kind of started it organically. Yeah. And then it's like, wait a minute, there's a thing here. And then now it's a huge thing. There's women traveling. There's a lot of different companies that offer tours for women. I think ours are the best, but I would think that.
That's something that we can touch on today as well. With being tour hosts, it's a unique layer to the travel experience because, as well, there are the tour guides there, but we offer a different layer to that. So let's get into that a little bit. I'm going to pull up the slideshow here. And this is just, very, very brief outline of some of the responsibilities that come with being a tour host. So obviously there's more than this, but just to give you a general overlay. So aside from, the on-site hosts that are provided by the tour companies, the Women's Travel Club also sends an experienced tour host on our classics and signature tours. So we are there, again, on number 2, as sort of a concierge for our tour members, assisting them through the tour, ensuring everybody has a good time. We know all the times to meet, the places to meet. We have all of the itinerary, all the emergency contact details, insurance details, anything that is super important, we have it. Again, furthermore, number 3, we aim to be relationship builders. And Kirsten is one of the best, I think, relationship builders we have out there. As she's cultivated multiple great relationships through these tools that you've kind of told me about already that we'll tell our members about. But so most of our members do join us as solo travelers, and it can be scary meeting new companions. As when I moved to Ireland last year, I was completely alone. I had nobody. I wish I had a Kirsten with me to help me through the process. So our tour hosts, we want to help break the ice and make a comfortable environment for our tour members from the beginning of their trip to the end and future tours, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. And again, we carry all the important information. So, travel details, accommodation arrangements, emergency contact, tour company information, and insurance. So all of that is super, it can be very scary having to be responsible for, there's Kirsten. You're back.
Dear.
It can be a little scary having to be responsible for all of those important documents and times and names and dates. And, so that's kind of part of what a tour host is there to do, kind of alleviate that stress. But something that I think is even better than that, if you can believe it, we become friends. We maintain relationships with our members and each other. And I think that's one of the main things about the Women's Travel Club is making it a community and not just an agency, because we're not here to just, try to sell you things. We're trying to show you things and give you opportunities in these experiences. So so now we'll get into some maybe previous travels that Kirsten might want to tell us about. So what were your kind of travel experiences before becoming a tour host?
Well, pretty much everything is thanks to Marianne. She's a very convincing best friend to have, and I just kind of gave us. She started when our kids were all little. The very first trip we took together was planned by her, and she was the ultimate tour host, I can say. And she booked us for the two, we were both single moms at the time, and our 4 children, all under the age of 6. Yeah, so that wasn't as much a holiday for some of us. But but she had activity books for the kids. She had all kinds of things all planned out. She just did everything. So, and then there was more trips with the kids. And then at some point, we would actually plan trips and do them based around restaurants we wanted to go to, or basically we'd sort of do the food porn surfing, if you will, and look at all these wonderful chefs and sites and pick a place to go and design a tour around a restaurant we wanted to go to. And it just kind of evolved from there. So I've been planning and doing tours with her for some time. I think it was around 2016 or so, 2015 or 2016. It sort of blurs now because of the pandemic. But at that time, they were too big for me to just travel with them for fun, and as a guest. Although that was always fun. I love going as a guest, but I also love going as the host. And I like to say the tour host is kind of like the mom of the group. So it doesn't really matter the ages either. So if you've gone on trips as the mom, you make sure people have this, make sure people have that, wait a minute, everybody's got to be here at 8 tomorrow morning, not 8:15, and make sure everybody knows, so that you don't have to worry. Because normally the people, or not normally, I should say, many of the women that we travel with typically are the planners and the doers and the the ones always responsible. It's nice to just go and let your hair down. Just don't worry about it. That's my job. My job is to worry about what there is to worry about. Your job is just to have fun. And so we're the mom. And then also, like, I'm kind of like your built-in best friend. Like people, we do have trips where, we have sort of 3 people come together and another 2 and another 2 kind of thing. But there's lots and lots of trips where it's 5 or 6 people don't know one another, and maybe nobody even knows one another to begin with. So I think becoming friends with these women and is part of the tour host job, but me being friendly facilitates everybody being friendly. And so it just seems.
Why host? Why do you think that it's important?
Yeah,
it's not important, but it's helpful maybe to have the host there.
I'm sort of the middleman, right? I'm part of the team, but I'm also in direct communication. I'm like the liaison, if you will, between the guests. I am experiencing what you're experiencing as a guest. So I am one of the guests, but at the same time, I'm the person that if somebody needs aspirin, we have to find it. If somebody, whatever, maybe they're not happy with the pace of something, maybe their knees are really acting up, or a number of different things. And a lot of times, depending on the country we're in, the tour guides can be somewhat difficult to understand in English, and I don't have a problem with that. So I'm very often the interpreter of the English to the English. So why host? Why have a host? It relaxes you because you don't have to worry. I can't emphasize this enough. You do not have to worry about anything. You just have to show up with. That's really literally it.
That's the dream, though. Isn't that the dream?
It is. It is. I'm telling you, I miss. I do miss being hosted. I'm not going to lie. One of these. Except this is a lovely way to meet people, and I love meeting different people, and I love experiencing the tour and even countries I've been to through different eyes. Through the experience of other people. And, the friends that you meet on these tours, it's just phenomenal. I think the small group, the attention to roommate matching, the tour host facilitating kind of the party, not the party atmosphere.
The community, the friendship.
Yeah, community, like a dinner party, whatever. It's like, it is. It's, what? Do you know what? It's like a 10-day pajama party with your best friends in like a different country. It's amazing. It's amazing. You just go, you leave wanting more 100% all the time.
Because I've not done my first trip yet. I'm in the middle of the training and such, which has been great.
Yes.
But walk us through when somebody signs on to a tour, a classic or a signature tour with a host. What
Yep.
is the initial like? What is the timeline of your relationship? What is the initial meet like? Where do
Yeah.
you go from there?
Where do you start? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the initial people that you're going to be, the host comes in a little bit late in the booking process. Basically, once you have picked a tour, you've decided, yes, this is where I'm going, and whatever, if you've paid for it or whatever stage they're at as far as the deposits and that sort of thing go. So closer to the tour, we have usually about a couple of weeks, if we can, before the tour goes itself. We'll have a Zoom meet and greet, which at that point, everybody knows the itinerary mostly. Sometimes they don't, but you'd mostly know the itinerary. But it's really a chance to say, hey, this is who I am. I'm a vet. This is why I like traveling. This is what I'm looking forward to the most. And then we kind of go through it, and then as well as answer any questions that they might have, maybe specific to the destination. So that's about a week or two ahead of time. Then on the day of the very first day of the tour, some people will arrive. Depending on the destination, they may arrive 1 to 2 days earlier to adjust to the time. Particularly our Asian and African destinations, a lot of people do that. So, but the first day, what is called day one of the tour, I'm sure I'll see you because I'm always around the hotel. But there's a meeting, our first meeting. Usually, it's always at 7:00 on the first night. So or we tell the front hotel, and that's where we'll finally meet face to face. We'll kind of do the introductions again because it's different on Zoom. We'll just remember that, and not everybody can always go to the Zoom meet and greet. So from then on, I'm there always. You can't really shake me. Counting like a demented border collie, making sure everybody's on the bus, off the bus.
Exactly. And we also have the WhatsApp groups as well.
Yes.
And we actually have an app in development.
Yes, yes. I didn't know if we could talk about that, but I'm looking forward to that.
But we're getting there. But anyways, we do have, and we have Photo Circle as well, which is a great app. Oh, we've lost Kirsten there. I'm sure she'll make her way back in. But as I was saying, we do have a Photo Circle app that allows our members throughout their tour and throughout the trip to be sharing.
Sorry. Here we go. We had a little bit of a glitch, but I'm back.
It happens. I'm on my feet.
Good for you. And that's a picture. That was I see the picture that you've got up there now. Yeah, I am on the far right, at least my right in that picture, towards the front of the vehicle.
Yes.
That is a destination we go to in South Africa in the Kalahari, and it's called Working with Wildlife. And it's a really unique type of tour. It is a safari, but you're safaring on a working game farm they have bought up hectares and hectares and hectares, like 140,000 hectares of farms in that area, and made a park massively bigger than Kruger, and they're trying to restore it to its natural habitat from farmland. So you're counting trees, you're counting animals, you set camera traps, you get to go all over the place with two wonderful hosts and their two wonderful dogs, and you feel really right at home. It's very small.
But very interactive as well. And that's
super interactive. You get out of the vehicle a lot. You are, they have a working PhD program on the site. So they have PhD students who may need, sometimes you can participate in observing the collaring of pets. The guy in the helicopter, like Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom in person right in front of you. It's amazing. It is amazing. Yeah, it is truly amazing. That's one of my favorite tours.
I was going to ask, would this be a tour that kind of sticks out in your mind when you think of, oh, that was unbelievable, and the women I met here? And tell us a bit about those kind of tours that stick out in your head. I know you have a group that you...
Yes, the Turkey Mamas. Yes. So, I mean, you were asking me one time, what is my favorite tours, and it is very, very hard to pick. There's something good happens in all of them. In fact, so many good things happen. It's like living a lifetime in a week or 10 days. At the end, you're just thinking, oh, that was just 3 days ago? Huh. But the one that really stands out and has made a really big impact on me personally is going to Turkey in 2022, spring of 2022. And there were 7 of us, and we were all on the yacht together and all on the Turkey land tour together. And we just, you always hit it off with most of the people there. And sometimes there's people that aren't necessarily to your taste completely, but this particular... Well, oh yeah, you're human. I mean, nobody's is everybody's cup of tea, but this particular one, for whatever reason, we all just really gelled, and so we've actually continued to go somewhere. Both we travel together in the Women's Travel Club. I just tell them what tours I'm on, and they get together and come on them. But we also at least once a year get together and do something else. Like we rented an Airbnb in cottage country one year. When last year was the Finger Lakes in Schenectady, and this year we're going to France. We're on the coast of France. We're renting an Airbnb after the barge tour. Yes, and you know what? I'm 57 years old, and I got my very first tattoo because of that group. And I'll show you. I don't know if you can see it. Look at that.
Closer here, so.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but it's an airplane leaving a heart contrail.
That's absolutely gorgeous.
That 4 of the 7 of us already have that tattoo. So that's kind of like our little group tattoo. I mean, anybody can use the tattoo. We don't have copyright, but yes. So they're like my sisters, but they're always there. They're people that they're like meeting your best friends that you just met. Really, yeah. I think. Someone in the comments, Patty in the comments said your best friends that you just met, and that is absolutely what happens. It is I don't know how to describe how bonding it is, and I think because you're all going through the same thing, there's always, especially if you're doing the Africa tours, but even in Turkey, you're in a different land, you're at a bit of a disadvantage, you're kind of going through an ordeal. I mean, I don't know how to. It was a horrible ordeal to relax on a yacht for 7 days in the Aegean Sea. It's amazing I survived, really, to tell the tale. Yeah, and yet I still come.
And here you are.
And yet here I am. But it is the people that I've met. As much as the learning about the culture is fantastic, that's of course why we all go. But I could go to Turkey with anyone. I go with the Women's Travel Club specifically for the people that I meet.
That's unbelievable, and that's the goal here. And I see, so Tina in the comments says here, it's awesome you've made lifelong friends, which is completely something you can't put a price on.
You cannot put a price on that.
And that's what I love about this club is that yes, of course, tours cost money. Of course, it costs money to go on these things, but you're getting things that you can't pay for, and that is the relationships made with not just other members, but the tour hosts and your tour organizers as well. I know Marianne takes pride in knowing our members here, and I think
100%.
Julie and Irene, and I think anybody who's been a part of this club, Kim is just unbelievable. We're all just here to be.
We care. We care. I know, and it seems silly, but you'll find an astonishing a number of businesses where this general feeling you get is that people don't care. And maybe that's not their intent, but that is certainly what comes across. But we definitely care. Like you're best friends. We are. It is. It's very, very strange. It just happens. You just go in and it's like, okay, you're all in a common thing, and you're one for all and all for one, and everybody gets together and sharing. I think it's so much richer sharing the destinations with people than going by yourself, or even just going with one friend. To have 7 or 8 or 10 women on some of the bigger ones it doesn't detract at all from it. It enhances.
We have a question here from Florence. And she's asked, what is the difference between classic, signature, and essential? So, I mean, from a general perspective, it just it goes up in, I guess we could say, value a little bit. Just not value, but just
but price. Like they go up in price. Like they're all valuable. The price matches the value.
Yes, exactly.
I think like what you said was bells and whistles. So the essential tour they're all perfectly safe. You're still going to get roommate matching as much as possible. You'll have an experienced in-country guide. So the tour guide is taking you all around, but you won't have a tour host. You'll be there with the other women, but you don't have that middle person.
However, we do prepare the Women's Travel Club for no matter what tour you have. We prepare a detailed itinerary for you. So no
Yes.
matter if you're on an Essential, Classic, or Signature tour, you're still going to have an informational packet provided to you, whether that be through the email or the mail, that details things that the tour host might be responsible for. But no matter what, you'll still have that important information.
Yes, so you're not without the information you need, but you're responsible for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into the next tiers, the signature, the classic, and then the signature,
Mm-hmm.
I guess you're still responsible for yourself. You're all big girls, but although you will be surprised. Some people, some people forget, but that's okay. It's you know what, everybody's there to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to the signature, the classic and then the signature, you do have the tour host. So you have that extra layer of person helping make, sorting all the luggage and just making sure that everything is going smoothly, making sure that the itinerary is being adhered to, not so much that, but making sure everybody knows what's next on the itinerary. If there are any changes that have to be made in the itinerary, which sometimes happens depending on venues, these things are planned months in advance, and occasionally there's something closed. We might have to switch something around and do something in the morning, or that kind of thing. So I'm the one responsible for making sure that or the tour host is responsible. Mm-hmm. So the signature, the classic would be somewhat upgraded accommodations. Yes. There's nothing wrong with the Essential tour at all. It's clean, safe, lovely, but it's not as many bells and whistles as you said. So yeah, the classic, and then going to the signature again, you've got sort of a next level up, really higher end experiences, higher end accommodations. You might also, often they're a little bit longer. The number of inclusions are probably more advanced, cooking classes, although you can do some cooking classes in the Essential as well.
See, we try to kind of balance it,
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to kind of give signatures everything, and it's all a balance, and we make sure that every tour we have has amazing inclusions no matter what. It just,
100%.
like I said in the beginning, it's just really about the bells and the whistles that you get, the accommodations, maybe even the dinner inclusions. On the signature, you might have more meals included in the price as opposed to your Essential or your classic, where there might only be a few meals provided here and there. It's just, that would be the main distinctions.
They're all good value for the dollar for what you get, definitely. And I've been on all the levels of tours and I love them all. Mm-hmm. It's nice to think that, wouldn't it be nice if everybody could, afford luxury signature tours all the time, but the reality is that would exclude the vast majority of the population from ever doing anything, and that's not fair. So she's designed sort of 3 tiers, if you will, of great trips. They're all great trips, but it's just the level of additional details and care.
So getting back into what the tour hosts kind of bring about. So you were telling us about your group. What did you guys call yourselves?
Oh, you know what? Well, it was the Turkey ladies to begin with, and because we met in Turkey, and someone said, "Oh, I don't really like that," meaning the Turkey part of it, and so she said, "Oh, okay, how about Turkey Mamas?" Because she then changed the ladies part of it. So for that very long, because that is just typical, and we would that's probably funny to nobody but us, but that had us giggling in hysterics, drinking Prosecco in a hot tub once, like. It's and these, like, I think I'd be the youngest, so I'm 50. I'll be 58 next week, actually. So I'm almost 58. And then I think, how old would Barb be? Close to almost 80. So we're all, I think we've a lot of women in the 60s, a couple in the 70s, and then one lady 80. So we're kind of in that 55 to 75 demographic. That's sort of a lot of the women that come on it, though that's definitely far from exclusive. There's been many 20-somethings. My daughter went on a tour when she was 15.
Yeah, I'm not going to be the sore thumb, Steve. Don't think
that you will totally not be the sore thumb. And you know what? When you're on the tour, everybody's the same age. You're all like, you're just women. You're just women friends going out, having girls' night out for a week and a half on somebody else's turf.
Yeah, you have to remember, I think, when you're traveling on these tours, that everybody that you're traveling with went through the same experience as you to get there. We all,
Yes.
went through the website. We all read the tour conclusions. We all decided what would be best for us. And you're all like-minded in the sense that everybody gravitated towards that tour. So I think it's really important to take advantage of those connections
Connections.
and
Totally.
similarities, because you're all like-minded. And I know just because I'm 25 doesn't mean I don't want to be your friend.
Exactly.
As you can see, I hope that I'm a very extroverted person, and and I think that's something, being a tour host, a quality of a tour host, maybe that
Yes.
might be a little bit, not essential, but basic
Pretty,
essential.
pretty essential. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you got to be able to fake it really well,
Yeah,
but you really
exactly.
do have to get energy from people. You know, the definition of extroverted, you really do have to like people.
Yeah.
But more than like people, lots of people like people, but to really enjoy the interaction and the being around. And sometimes there isn't a whole lot that I have to do other than the meet and greet and the tour guides, and everybody has their own stuff and nobody ever has a problem and life is wonderful. Other times, there might be trouble. Maybe there's not enough seats at the lunch table. We have to make sure that goes on, or somebody, God forbid, loses luggage. So, but even when things aren't bad that are happening, I'm still always making sure that there isn't bad things happening.
Yeah.
If there was one, I'd already have interfered with it, or so you're trying to kind of keep in the background. And I'm not there to be a referee and a teacher. Or the mom say, now you two, if you can't be friends, you're going to have to go into separate rooms. That's not my job.
No.
But to keep everything running smoothly and to be in the background doing that, and so that everybody's enjoying themselves, that's really the job.
I think from my perspective as a new host, what I've come to understand about what qualities encompass a good travel host or tour host would be, personable. I think it's important that we know how to communicate and to be happy about it with other people. But I think it's very important to also be somebody who can stay calm in moments of panic, because
Totally.
especially when it's groups traveling. I have a question here. What is the average size of groups? Could vary from anywhere between 6 women to 16 to 20. So I think
the bigger, the bigger tours tend to be, it's usually around between 8 and 16. 16 would be kind of a big one. I think probably averaging around 10.
Yeah.
The bigger on some of the barge ones or the river cruises where we're on a venue like a cruise boat, there might be more people because it's not the same amount of logistics that the host has to worry about. You're all there. So yeah, exactly. Because unless we're going to be exclusive, which on a cruise boat we're not, because there's other people on the cruise boat. Except for the turkey, that's different. If you ever want to, look at the turkey.
Mamas.
Turkey mamas. I'm not guaranteeing it. I'm just saying it's a great tour. It's a great tour. But anyway, yes. So the oh my gosh.
Size.
Yes. So the average size.
It's important with that amount of people that the host is somebody who's able to kind of keep a calm head and stay focused on the task at hand. Or, like obviously we've had instances in the past where somebody might get injured. And very few instances, mind you.
Very few, thank heavens.
Very few. But
paperwork's a nightmare.
Yeah,
no, I'm kidding. Well, it is, but that's not the main problem.
We're here to help with. We want to make sure that if, God forbid, anything were to kind of go off track, we can steer it back to where it needs to be. And
exactly.
I think that's definitely a huge quality of being a travel host, is to be organized and level-headed. I hope you would agree with me.
100%. You have to be able to flow with things. You have to be able to think quickly on your feet. I had a lady take a misstep out of a safari vehicle in Botswana on the last day of our tour and fell possibly 3 feet onto the patio and broke her hip. And in my middle of Botswana. Well, not even the middle of Botswana, in the outskirts of,
but you were there, and that's
yes. And she didn't want to go to the hospital. I said, don't be silly, you can't even walk, you have to go to the hospital. So anyway, we did, and she got excellent care. And I had already started the insurance claim for her. I made sure she had all the things that she needed. We made sure that she had a ride to and from the hospital. Made sure also that the rest of the group, we were doing that, but the rest of the group could continue on with their activity and were comfortable doing that. So it doesn't happen often, but it does sometimes you're critically needed, but you can't panic in a situation like that.
But these are the things that I think can kind of be intimidating when traveling, is that you don't
Definitely.
necessarily know how to handle those
Yeah.
situations, and that's what, we
That's what
like.
we do.
But also in that, exactly. But in that same stream, we've got Kim in the comments here asking, are you more on your own with an essential tour, or just more responsible for showing up on time? I think that's a great question, because
Yeah.
yes, you don't have a women's travel club tour host, but you will have an on-site host for your whichever tour
Like a
you're
guide, a tour
on. Right,
guide.
yeah, the tour
They'll
guide.
they'll take over they'll take the hosting activities over as much as they can
Yeah,
as
so
well.
they won't necessarily have all the nitty-gritty details that we as tour hosts would carry, but they have the information that we've provided them from the Women's Travel Club. They'll guide you through the
And
tour.
they're trained professionals as well within their country. They're all like certified tour guides. So
Yes.
they know how to look after people for sure. So you're not on your own. You still do stuff as a group.
Yeah. But it would be, so when we had mentioned previously about the itineraries that we provide to you from the organization to, email or mail, you have, at this time you will wake up and meet for breakfast at 7 a.m. here. And I designed those, so I know what goes in them. And that would be your guideline. If you didn't have a tour host, I would kind of stay more towards, okay, what's going on the next day? And I keep up to date with my itinerary. But it
Yeah.
just kind of tells me where to meet the other women, where to meet the rest of the girls, where to meet my tour guide.
Tour guide.
Exactly. And then they kind of take it from there. So you're definitely not alone. You're still in your group, but you just don't have a smiley face like me or Kirsten to
You just don't, you'll have to bond yourselves. You
Yeah,
cannot, yes. No, but it's, well, I mean, as a tour host, of course, I haven't gone on an essential tour, but I have gone on essential tours before they were called that.
Yeah.
And that's like some of the very beginning ones we did were certainly essential tours. And it's still lovely. You still meet the people. It just there isn't a cohesive, fearless leader, as much. I think the bonding ones, I am a tour host. Of course, I think it was important. But I think the bonding help, and just to help relax so that you don't have to worry about it. Like, of course, everybody probably does know approximately when we're doing things, but I'm the one that has to say, okay, does everybody know we have to meet at 7:45 in the morning, tomorrow morning, here, luggage out at 7:30 in front of your door. And you don't have to remember that. That's probably in the itinerary, but it's 10 at night. You've been going since 7 in the morning. You're tired and you don't want to know. I just want to know, what shoes do I need to wear, and do I have to pack my bag?
Yeah. Hey, there's a section for that in those itineraries.
There is.
Bottom, what to pack. I've got it all there, and all
there
your
is.
So Melissa here has even made a comment. She had a great experience on the Sicily Essential Tour last year, was very well organized, and the tour guide was extremely knowledgeable. So that's very important. We never ever want to send you guys somewhere and send you guys somewhere
Sorry.
and kind of leave you in the dark. Everything will be organized kind of from start to finish. You're gonna know what's going on. Totally.
You're just in the end, you're responsible for yourself on the essential tours, and in the end, if you don't show up, it's kind of down to me or the tour host on the non-essential tours.
So Tina's asked here, in each of the 3 types of tours, so essential, classic, signature, are you given independent free time? I know that from some of it really just depends on the tour company that we've collaborated with and what their tour looks like. I know with Japan coming up soon, there's 1 free day, but it really varies, I think.
It does. Not a ton. There is usually some. They try to make a balance of planned activities and free time, but they do tend to lean more towards the activities, which of course nobody's obliged to do. If you want free time, you just do it. But they do plan a lot of activities because most people want to do the things while they're there.
Yeah.
And not have it be a waste.
The option to do, I have lots of members that I schedule for the itineraries doing pre and post nights. So pre and post nights, I think, especially with specific types of tours like cruises, I think especially it would be very, nice to have a pre-night booked before embarkment because it can be a little stressful. Like you
Yeah.
said, for the Asia tours, to have a pre-night or two booked to kind of adjust to the time zone.
Yeah.
But post nights as well. If you guys are making friends on these tours,
Yes.
stay a couple extra nights with your girlfriends, and then, you know,
It's
see
so
what
hard to leave.
I know.
It's so hard to leave. Last day's horrible. It's like
Mhm.
camp, but without the yucky stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Sharon here is asked, is the Women's Travel Club available if there is a problem during the essential tours? Did you want to?
Yes, they definitely are. So your first person on the essential tours, the first person that you would connect with would be your tour guide, who you'd be given in-country contact information for. A lot of times it's using an application called WhatsApp, which is a messenger app like Messenger. I think it's in fact owned by Facebook now.
Yeah, it is, and it's
Meta.
Wi-Fi based, so you don't
Wi-Fi based, yes. You
it's
don't need
Wi-Fi
data.
based, you don't need data. Yeah.
In fact, it won't actually. Well, it will work on data as long as you've got your. It will work on a cell signal as long as you've got your data turned on. But a lot of people don't have that in different countries.
Yes.
So it'll definitely work on Wi-Fi. So you would go to them if there was a problem that they couldn't solve or that you felt that was not resolved to your satisfaction. Then you could reach out. Or if it was a problem you felt of significant magnitude, you could definitely email. Somebody's always watching the email. WhatsApp. There's always emergency contacts, but particularly emailing home base. Irene in particular will be on that like very, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
No, yeah. They're always, so yes, the short answer is yes, there's always somebody available to troubleshoot. In the unlikely event that you would need us. They're usually very well, like they're pretty tight. They're pretty tightly sealed. There's not a lot to go wrong. They've thought of virtually everything.
Yeah. Janet's said here that Irene is wonderful, and we can.
Irene is a machine, man. I don't know. She is, and she just knows everybody. And she said, "Oh yes, and you know her mother, and yes, that is her friend, and they came together on this tour back then. Don't you remember? And then they went home with so and so." I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. See, and this is what I was kind of touching into previously. Now, Irene does do tour hosting as well, but she's an integral member of our club and what she does in the back end of everything. Mm-hmm. But she's still so connected with our members, and that's something that for the people who are here right now is something that I kind of want to venture more into. I want to be friends with you guys, and that's why I'm encouraging you. Always send a message to our Facebook page or anywhere, Instagram. I'd love to chat. I'd love to get to know you guys better. If you ever want someone to talk to, how do I get started? We have a question here.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
There is. Now, do you have the link handy,
so
Ali?
This is the link to our contact page here. So if anybody wants to take a screenshot
there, or take a picture with your camera if you're on your.
You can just take it like that. But that is our contact information. So if you want to ask any questions whatsoever, that's our email. You can always phone us, but that's our website. Now, if you input that link into your browser, it will take you to our contact us page. However, you're going to be on our website from there. So there will be a bar in the top that goes straight to tours. And you can click and you can choose. There's a search bar by country, like by location. There's search bar by type of tour. So if you're looking for more of like a safari or a river cruise, or, we're going to Transylvania for Halloween, which I think is a very unique and cool tour coming up. So if you did the tour type, you can look up that way. And then once you're in the tours, you can read about the inclusions. You can see the map, the itinerary, and then you'll see the occupancy rates once you click book now. So once you do that, it'll take you through the steps of how to get involved in the tour. But if you don't want to do that, if you want to talk to us before you kind of take those steps, definitely reach out to us through email or phone, because we're always
definitely. And again, Irene and the girls in the office are just fantastically supportive and available to answer all kinds of questions about insurance, what kinds of things are on the itinerary, vaccinations you might need, things that questions you might have to begin with can all be answered. By the time by the time you're meeting me, you've asked really a lot of the questions. It's pretty late on, but sometimes I'll end up answering emails too, although a little less. My clinic has just suddenly gotten very busy, which is amazing. Yes. But yes, yay! It's a good problem to have, but it doesn't leave me with a lot of time to do pre-trip things as much as I used to, as much as I really like to. But I can still, on the trip, you get Kirsten. You do not get the veterinarian. Well, I mean, I can't turn that off. When somebody falls and breaks their hip and I can see that they've broken a bone, I am going to make you go to the hospital. I'm sorry. I will be that person. You must. Yeah. No, I'll be fine for 2 days. No, actually, you won't because you can't walk. So.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking in the comments here. So for Deborah and Carol, I'm going to liaise with Marianne about that, and then we'll reach out directly. So just keep us in mind. I'll liaise with her after this live stream, and I'll update you ladies then, if that sounds okay.
Super.
But yeah, so yes.
Did we get to everything?
Everybody's wondering about Croatia. I'll definitely get some answers for you guys on that very, very promptly. So no need to, don't stress too much. So I was just to kind of maybe wrap it up a little, but also I just wanted to know if there's anything you, here, I'm going to get rid of this here. If there's anything you have for us, Kirsten, that you may have forgotten about or left out, any trips or any, I know you have an upcoming tour you're going on quite soon.
Soon, at the end of May, I'm going on the Portugal river cruise and barge, which this will be my first river cruise.
Oh, really?
Yes, that I've done. How many women's travel club trips are there? There's so many on cruises, and I just haven't done one. I've been in Africa and Asia all the time, and India, and sort of doing a lot of those ones. And I think I just kind of had tunnel vision. So this is the year I'm branching out.
Yeah, love that. No, that's great. I'm the tours are obviously, we've just had our 2025 tour meeting at the beginning of the January.
Of the year, yeah.
So we're still obviously getting our 2025 tours in the works. There are a few up on the website right now if anybody here wants to go take a look at those and see kind of what the outlook looks like for next year. Just please be advised that tours won't be guaranteed until we meet the minimum amount of members on the tour, but obviously that gets all sorted out in the back end once you've kind of pre-booked and everything. So our travel agents will liaise with you there. But anyways, so is there Amalfi Coast in the plans for 2025?
I don't.
Sure. I
don't know, actually. There was Amalfi Coast.
I don't know. I think it's something we've discussed. I don't think it's something that we have on the schedule as of right now. I do know we're looking.
It's an interesting question, though, because I think the question comes up a number of times, and I think for a while we just thought that maybe Amalfi was somewhere that people could go with their family and friends and would be more comfortable going as solo, but really, the whole point of the Women's Travel Club isn't necessarily where you're going. It is, of course, where you're going, but it's the people you're going with. So why not Amalfi?
Exactly. And we've got two comments here. So Deborah said Kirsten was our tour host in Botswana and working with wildlife. Yeah, Deborah Branscombe is here.
Yes, I love Deb.
Yeah, she said it was a wonderful trip, largely because of you, which I think is.
Oh, Deb, thank you. Poor Deb. Now, Deb, I hope you don't mind. Can I tell them the one story where you got a tiny injury, but when we were in the safari vehicle that night and the thorn, in your face? Can I tell them about that?
We'll see what Deborah says about that. But there's another it just says Facebook user. I can't, just because of this platform I'm on, I can't quite see the name of who it's from, but it says that you were the tour host several years ago in the Maldives. A great experience with you, very personal, caring, as well as quite funny, which I cannot agree with more.
Thank you. I've had such good groups. I've on it. Oh yes, okay, Deborah. Okay, I'll make it quick. I know I can't actually do that. I swear to God. But sometimes when you're in the safari vehicle, they are open air vehicles, so they don't have a rooftop or really windows. Well, they have windows, but they're just open. There's no glass or canvas in them.
Right.
And we get talking, and Deborah, that group also was a great group. I mean, I keep saying that, but boy, I've had some really great groups. So
reality.
So, they have acacia trees, which if you know, the acacias have thorns. So as they get a little closer to in towards the woods, if you're talking and not paying attention, which, as you can imagine, happens occasionally, you can get sort of whipped by a thorn. And so we do we pretend, we duck, and we're giggling and laughing away. And I turned around and looked at Deborah, who was sitting beside me. I said, "Oh," and she had a thorn, a thorn stuck right smack in the, sticking right out with a little trickle of blood coming down. And I'm like, and she's very proper and very, well, she comes across that way, but yeah, you get to know her. But still, she's very proper. Like, "Oh, Deb, you have so do you tell her? You have to kind of tell her, but is that going to be worse? Like, do you want to know? But I don't know if you want to know, but I guess you probably do. But you have a thorn in your face and it's bleeding." So poor Deb. Oh my God. Which it's funny now. It's funny now. I mean, it was funny comical at the time because of her. She was oblivious to the thorn. No clue at all.
How does that happen?
No, it was a great time.
Well, thank God you were there to save the day, as you always are.
Exactly. That was an unexpected one.
Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, see, this is what we mean. Like, things happen.
They do
happen, and we can't anticipate these things, but that's why we like to be here as your tour host, to kind of take the thorn out of your forehead
out of your forehead, whether it's literally a thorn in your forehead or if you're just having a pain in your head because of something that's happening on the tour. We're going to try our very, very best to fix that. Our goal is to have everybody have the best possible time that they can.
We have a question here from Zeta. It says that she's never done a solo trip before, but has thought about it. How can she become fearless, kind of get that confidence? But I think that's what we are really here to do at the Women's Travel Club, is take solo travelers who might be a little bit nervous about going at it alone and providing them with a group of like-minded,
We have a lot of solo travelers, a lot of women who did lots of them. And it may be just a destination that you don't feel as comfortable going to, or maybe you're just tired of traveling with just yourself. There's advantages, definitely, but there's something very enriching about traveling with other people, and particularly with women who want to be there. We all want the same things. For the most part, I mean, there's certainly some activities, and scuba might be one of them, but in general, what do we want to do? We want to learn about culture. We want wine. We want to talk to people, and we need to use the bathroom a lot.
Yeah.
And we want, and we like shopping as well with our culture. Now, men typically want to go to the bar and the sports things, and maybe sit by the pool and do activities. And I'm not, obviously, this is a gross overgeneralization.
Of course,
but in general, you're traveling with people who typically want to do, and say you aren't a shopper and it's a shopping afternoon. In a group of 10, there's at least one other person who really could care less if they shop. Or I'm the built-in best friend. You're the built-in best friend. Hey, everybody's going here for dinner, but you're allergic to seafood. Well, that would be a different thing. We'd make accommodations for that. But you know what I mean?
Seafood, not allergic. I don't like it.
Exactly. So maybe there's an option to go to 2 different places, but I'm not going to let you go somewhere by yourself. That's silly. You didn't come here to be by yourself if you did. So it's I think you just be fearless by just doing it. Just come. You might even get, as you see, it might even be like a step into traveling solo, because it's traveling solo, but with built-in best friends.
Exactly.
So it's,
I believe it will give you the confidence to be able to take that next step if you desire to have
100%.
a secluded, secure solo trip. I think it's definitely a good stepping stone, but you might find that you don't want to do it by yourself if you've made these amazing friends, as Janet says here in the comments, that you're going to have friends on the first day. And I think that goes all the way back to maybe even the initial Zoom meeting that you have with your tour host.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're there too. And as I learned in our tour host training, is that even with these WhatsApp groups, some ladies tend to be very chatty amongst themselves in the weeks coming up to the tour, that they might not even know each other face to face, but they've already cultivated friendships amongst each other through these groups and these messaging platforms. So I just think I understand it can be scary, Zeta. Definitely can be
Yeah.
scary. But
Yeah.
I think that one of our main goals here is to take that fear, throw it away, and give you a sense of
Yeah.
relief.
Just come. I'll take care of the rest.
Yeah. She's
Hon-
got you.
honest to God. Honest to God. You will
Wine
have
and potties sounds good to me, says Kim.
wine and potties. Yeah. Wine and potties. Many frequent potty breaks. Culture. I'm telling you, culture, wine, talking, shopping. What else do we? Oh, gardens. Yeah. There's, I mean, we all like the
There's
same thing.
the I know there for
Cooking.
the Rose in Bulgaria, the Rose Festival as well.
Right.
Coming
The
up.
cherry blossom festival in Japan.
Yeah, exactly. So
and there are hiking tours and more active ones as well.
mhm.
Gorillas. There's gorilla
I know
trekking.
we're thinking of doing one in Italy next year, doing
Nice.
tours in the Dolomites maybe. So that's something that we're talking about. So yeah, like
Yep.
I said in the beginning, our activity levels do range from, low, moderate, not extreme. It would never be extreme, but definitely more.
There we go.
Yeah.
Zeta says she's got her luggage ready. Where are we going? You pick. I'll be there.
You pick, we'll go. Yeah. And then we've
Exactly.
got Janet here says, I met a gal on the Tahiti trip that I've now traveled with on 2 other women's travel club trips. And actually our Tahiti WhatsApp group is still chatting after 3 years. That is, Janet, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, Janet. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely what we are, our goal here is.
That's the goal, is to, it's to make travel friends. This is to make travel buddies. Whether you come on another women's travel club tour or not, that's irrelevant. I mean, obviously we'd love you to, and most people do, but it's that you make friends and that you make those connections, and that you now have, where else do you meet people in, after you're out of school, really, work? That's about it.
I work from home too, so I'm like, this is my work. Be my friend, be my school friends, please. And then Stephanie actually has made a great point here. It's not always the tour. Sometimes it's getting to the destination by yourself that can be scary. And
definitely.
Completely understand. Airports are a very stressful, especially security and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we do, we routinely post travel tips. I actually have a really good one coming out soon for travel tips to get you through the airport from my own experiences, because I myself, I can get overstimulated at times when there's people in my ear and this way and that. So there is a level of internal calmness that is, you might need to try your best to keep when going through the airport and things like that. But it's always nice to know. I think one of the biggest fears with airport travel is that, okay, once I land, what do I do? Where's the taxi rank? Where's the next train? What's this? I don't know the language. I can't read the song. That is, and that's another layer that we try to alleviate pressure from, is that you will have some, not all tours, but most of them have airport transfers. And we make sure that there's somebody waiting for you there with a sign that says, this is where it's going to take you directly to your accommodation or to wherever. Now, if you have a pre-night booked, that can be a little different, but I don't think so drastically.
And also, Ali, another thing is, depending on where people are coming from, typically our clients are from North America, so Canada and the United States. Depending on where you're coming from, a lot of times people end up on the plane on the same sort of at least final destination, depending on how many legs of the trip you need. A lot of times there'll be somebody, or it can be sometimes arranged, if you're really concerned with the whole getting there, and we know somebody else who is coming from the same area, they can help you make sure your things are coordinated, so you can almost travel together, even from that end. It doesn't always work out. Yeah, it doesn't always work out, but very often, actually.
Well, I've noticed even putting the travel itineraries together for our upcoming trip to Japan, there's I'm putting in the flight details. I'm like, okay, wait, I thought this was Kim's flight, and now I'm putting in the same numbers. So I go back and check. I'm like, oh, they're on the same flight. So it definitely does happen. It definitely does happen.
It does. It does.
Oh, here, I'm going to put up this contact page. So I'm going to leave that there. Zeta's asked what our website is. So again, you can follow that link there. It will take you to the Contact Us page. However, you will be on the website there. So there will be a bar at the top of your screen that will allow you to, read about us, check out our Travel Talk page, and go through the tours. So you can go through tour type or tour level. So signature, classic, essential, or you can look through safaris, or you can look through locations. We make it pretty easy for you guys to really find what you're looking for. Like Tina says here, Tina and Melissa both say Italy is the best. Italy, Dolomites, enough said. So I agree. I just think I can't stress enough the uniqueness and the beauty of the tours we offer. I mean, like you guys said, I'm only 25, so when I say I've been traveling my whole life, it doesn't have too much merit. But
it does.
when I say that, I mean like I was in diapers on airplanes, and so
That counts.
Pardon me?
That counts.
It counts. So like I said, so I'm just blown away by the opportunities provided by this club, and I'm so honored to have come on as a tour host as well, because I can't wait to cultivate more friendships and meet you guys face to face. I think it's
you meet some very beautiful people on these tours, and honestly, if you're hesitating, don't hesitate. It's yeah, we got you. We got you. That's what the tour host is for. We got you. Yeah. We were there. We got all the. Don't worry. We'll worry. You tell me what it is you want me to worry about. I'll make sure it's worried about, but you don't. You just go have fun, and I'll worry about it and let you know. And it's such a good time. Yeah.
Is there any other questions from any of the beautiful women watching us right now?
Thank you for posting the. Thank you for posting the link, Tina, in the chat.
Yeah, that's very helpful, because I don't think you're able to copy it from the presentation itself. So that was very nice of you. Thank you.
Ali, I have one last story that I think maybe you guys would want to know, and you can tell me if it's too much information. But when coming on 5 years ago now, my husband died tragically early, and. Yeah, I was away in Thailand on a women's travel club tour when he went into the coma, and I came back and he didn't make it. And anyway, it was rough. However, that's not the point. The point is, about 6 months later, the first tour that I was scheduled on was to go to Bali, and a lot of people said, "Don't go. You're not ready. You'll be triggered." But because I had been away when he passed, or at least when he went into the coma, and what was happening to me at that time was a very low time in my life. And to the point where I really didn't want to continue on in this world. And I just said, you know what? I've promised Marianne I'll go to Bali. At least I'll do that. And then, I don't know what, I don't know afterwards. Bali saved my life and the women on that trip. That's when we started calling it the Women's Therapy. I'm going to cry. That's when we started calling it the Women's Therapy Club, because so many people helped me through what was an extraordinarily difficult time, even as I was helping them with their things and listening to their things and just sharing. And I mean, the venue really helps too. Bali's a really magical place, but really it was Bali. It was the women that I was traveling with saved my life. It's family. Yeah, it's family. It's better than family. And it was right away. And I knew that this is what I needed to do, is to go on these tours and help everybody have a good time.
That's honestly, I'm about to cry myself.
So that's a huge reason why I keep, why I'm working the way I'm working at the clinic to try and get away more. Why is these people and new people already know, and this environment, these tours are why I'm still here.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's I think it takes a lot for you to share that with us.
It does. I can actually get through with minimal, almost no tears. This is good.
I can feel it in my skin. In my blood. I can feel you, and we're not even in the same room, but I can feel your emotion and how honest and authentic you're being about this, because it's just, changes lives, and I think
It
that's
changes lives, and so many women have commented back to me after that. It's helped them through so much, and even if it's not an earth shattering, life changing therapeutic experience for you, everybody says what a great trip there that it's been, and what a great experience, you know. Um, and it's again, it's not just the destination. There's lots of people go to these destinations and they don't have as good a time, and it's the people that you're with, and that's what the Women's Travel Club excels at, is the getting the people together.
And Kim Roth here says that contact and communication with others is so important. And I think
Yes.
just taking travel out of the conversation for a minute, ironically in the Women's Travel Club, but just taking it away to kind of highlight that point is that
Yeah.
it is important to maintain relationships, and maybe not with just family, but with people who can be objective with you and maybe kind of like relate in an objective way, that don't know maybe every single little detail about your life, but can help you try to see it maybe from a different perspective or a different viewpoint. So I
Yeah.
think like that, like you said, Kirsten, is that,
It was so helpful.
it's helpful. And
well, more than helpful, I think that's kind of understating it, really.
he is understating it.
Yeah. It is. It's understated. And who knows, would I have got better anyway? Well, I hope so. You like to hope so. But the fact
so
is,
you're very like, I know we haven't known each other long, but from what
resilience. Yeah.
very resilient,
Yeah.
very.
But it was so supportive and so warm and so caring at a time when I needed it, and I was able to give it back and feel fulfilled and it's like my purpose. It's like, oh, okay, I have still more to give. There is a reason for me to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to hear that tour hosting has given you that, because like when we think of tour hosting, and of course, like even coming on this live stream today, it's like, okay, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about what tour hosting adds to the tour for our members, but we forget about what it does for ourselves as well, and who we are as people and as tour hosts, because we are people just like our members, and we yearn for connection, and we yearn to be loved, and we yearn to feel heard and seen. And I think that being able for both members and hosts alike to have the opportunity to connect, and like you said in the beginning, in a beautiful setting and location, as an added bonus, is just really, really special, and not something that you can find very many places in such a unique way that we do it here.
Exactly. And it is hard to explain the difference until you've been on a Women's Travel Club tour with a host, and you can see.
Yeah. So definitely keep an eye out for those classic and signature tours going forward.
For sure.
If you liked this talk and you think that tour host is something that somebody you would want to have with you on your trip. Stephanie says here she lives on the west coast of Canada. It'd be nice to see Canadian trips. Definitely. Canada is beautiful. We do forget sometimes. I lived in Ireland for 18 months, and I always said it to people there, you never realize how patriotic you are until you leave your home country.
Absolutely.
I love it here. So I definitely agree with you there. But anyway, so yes, thank you, Diane and Janet and Tina and everybody else who's here and talking to us, and definitely still reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram.
For sure.
And Kirsten's going to be on upcoming tours going forward, so you'll definitely see her around.
More and more as time goes on, too.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and I'll be doing my tour host season will start in 2025, but obviously we've got a whole year before then. So again, be my friend. Reach out. Let's connect. Because
is that what are we reduced to, being on a talk, to begging for friends? Is that really what this is? It's kind of starting to feel like that.
COVID ruined the human interaction, didn't it? It's just a new way to communicate. But again, well, we're going to end up here. Is there anything else, finishing remarks you'd like to say, Kirsten?
I think that really covers it. I think that was what I wanted to get across, what it means to me, as much as what we can do for you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you personally.
Hey, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Here, and I think just like your stories opened up a new perspective on what tour hosts really are, and what we want to do, especially to those who don't even know what tour hosts are.
We're the mom and the friend that's looking after you on the trip, so you're not actually going alone. If you didn't know that, that's what we're doing.
are
You're not going alone. Yes, we got it. We got this. We got you. Don't worry, but don't even, just show up. Look at the packing list. Go show up. That's all you have to do. Swear to God. Everything else is go.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
all right.
This is enjoyable and informative. And check the
Thank
website
you.
and plan a trip. Exactly.
Oh, wonderful. I look forward to it.
All right, ladies.
Awesome.
Well, I am going to end this stream now. So thank you again for joining. We are hoping to have our travel talks weekly on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. So definitely stay up to date if you're subscribed to our email list. If you're not, definitely check out our social media websites. We're going to have a link to subscribe to those that email list coming out in the next 10 minutes. So that would be lovely. Next week, we are hoping to talk about another upcoming tour we have, but I'm going to keep that topic maybe under wraps for now. And the week after, we have a beautiful, a lovely presentation planned in regards to another upcoming tour we have at the end of the year for our Tahiti cruise. So it's going to be great. So stay up to date with our emails and our social media on upcoming travel talks. And if you go onto our website under the travel talk page, you'll see all of our past travel talks recorded and our future upcoming ones that you can register for. So yeah, thank you guys again. And we're hoping to travel with you soon.
Yes. Everyone, I want to meet all the people.
Yeah, show me your face.
Show me your face. I want to meet you. I want to find out about you and your kids and what do you do and who are you and what do you have to say?
I'm so nosy. Just tell me.
I know. Everybody's so interesting. I just want to know about people.
Yeah, thank you. All right, guys,
Allie.
I'm going to end this stream now. I'll see you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.